is here. Let's see. I hope everybody is having a good day, a good week, and just kind of, going through things day by day. If you guys know the title of the stream, you know what we're about to talk about because it's a lot to kind of give you a story of as to why I decided to do this stream. But before I do that, I want to get into the comments. I want to see what everybody is saying. Let's see. Mac User 2, you said, I know it's supposed to be in New York, but Flash looks like he's playing for Pittsburgh. I don't believe that's Flash, by the way. That's actually Norman Osborn. That's actually how Norman Osborn looks, by the way, in the series. Marvel fan, you said hi. Just sitting by, might be late, but this will definitely. You will try your best to make it. You will check out the live. All right, all right. Koi Fish, how you doing, Koi Fish Gaming? My good friend. If you guys have not followed Koi Fish Gaming, if you want all the retro gaming content, he's the go-to guy. So definitely go check out his channel. Leave a like, subscribe, because you will definitely enjoy. He does a lot of good retro games and a lot of good family-friendly content over there. So you'll definitely enjoy it. But now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this stream and the topic of today. Now, giving you guys backstory, I did a video talking about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man this week. And after I did that video, I got a lot of hate comments, a lot of comments going towards, me saying that I'm a part of the woke culture and a ton of other things, racist comments. It even gotten to a point where it exceeded even further than just hate comments. I got death threats as well. And it's just really saddening that we live in this world where people can't accept the fact that there is change, that sometimes we have different stories. Some people gatekeep a lot of things, and there's a lot of Spider-Man fans out there, and I'm going to be very honest, that actually hate Spider-Man. There's a lot of these fans out here who don't even know the lore and the context of who Spider-Man is, and they take something like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and they completely try to demolish it because they don't like change, or again, they don't like the lore of who Spider-Man is. And I want to debunk these comments and get into why I think a lot of these comments are either stupid, don't make sense, or people are just talking out of their heads. They don't know what they're talking about. So the first thing that people try to bring up, and I've seen a lot of this comment a lot, is that they don't want another Peter Parker in high school dynamic. Now, let me ask you guys this, all right? Now, again, it's fair, criticism if you feel like, okay, maybe they do too much of Peter Parker in high school. Like, that's fair. But don't you guys think that because they keep pulling back to high school that there's a reason why they do that? And here's the reason why. Because Amazing Fantasy 15, I'm going to take it back to you guys, give you some history. Amazing Fantasy 15, when we got an introduction to Peter Parker, when we got the introduction to Spider-Man, he did not start in college. Nowhere did he start in college. It didn't start with Peter Parker married with kids. It started with, him in high school. And I feel like that's the lore of who Spider-Man is. And again, I respect your opinion if you feel like you want to see him in college or as an adult. I respect that. But this is going to be a different story. This isn't going to be like many other high school Peter Parker stories from what, it's being said to us. And another comment that I saw from a lot of people was, oh, the animation style is going to be ugly. So again, going back to the lore, this is about Peter Parker at his beginnings. This is about when he was just a simple kid. He didn't have Iron Man by his side. He didn't have anybody else by his side. This is him figuring out how to be Spider-Man and how to intertwine being both Peter Parker and Spider-Man all at the same time. He was broke. His Aunt May, he had to get a job to pretty much, figure out how to, take care of Aunt May and the rent and a lot of things. So again, that's like another thing that I've said. And another thing is the Spider-Man 98. There's a lot of people who are being very toxic towards this show because they want Spider-Man 98. Now, granted, yes, X-Men 97 exceeded expectations, though bear in mind, these same people who were hating on this show were hating on X-Men 97 before the show even came out and called it, saying that this is going to be woke trash. I didn't forget. A lot of you had comments saying that this show was going to be garbage. They were going to make Wolverine gay. All of this stuff. I had all these comments in the chat in my videos about this show being woke. And it wasn't. X-Men 97, X-Men, any of the comics have never been woke. It's just a really dumb thing that in this day and age, anything that has changed, anything that has someone of diversity, it's woke now. It's going on with the Assassin's Creed thing right now. People can't accept the fact that there is a black samurai and a main black protagonist. They don't like it. So what do people do? They call it woke because they don't like it. Because they don't like the fact that it's a black character. It's just so frustrating and annoying, and I feel like these are fantasy characters. Yes, some of this is based off of realistic people and realistic historical events, because let's not get it wrong, there were black people in Japan, and there were black samurais. It's all well documented if you want to go do the research. But like with this Spider-Man situation, a lot of people don't want to go and do their research. They rather yap off and yap their mouth about stuff that they clearly don't know any knowledge on, but quote-unquote call themselves a fan of stuff. So that's, take it for how you feel. That's honestly my opinion, and I just think it's really disrespectful to the creators, to Steve Ditko, to Stan Lee, who created, some of these characters, and many other comic book artists, Jack Kirby, the list goes on of people who, throughout the years have worked on Spider-Man and his origin. It's very disrespectful when you have these kind of comments. And I'm not a fan of it. You shouldn't be going after, someone else's channel, because I'm simply just being very optimistic about it. And you guys know I like to have a very optimistic attitude, because in this day and age, in the internet age, people would do anything and everything for clicks. Like, for example, I had a video that got recommended to me today on my main page talking about the show. Now, in their video, they claimed that this show was going to be an absolute mess. There was a lot of misinformed information in that video saying that there was no casting announcements. So, first off, I literally did a video talking about the casting announcements for this show. Someone who did the video was clearly not willing to go out there and look up the information for the casting for the show. So they spewed out to their audience, there is no casting for this show. So, that's how I feel about it. You have to do your research. And then the video kind of goes further into saying, oh, this is going to be woke trash and all this stuff, because what the writer has done some material in the past where they kind of touch on certain subjects. But again, this is a different show. You can't criticize somebody for doing, certain writing elements for a show that, again, you have not seen. We haven't seen this show. We don't know what this show looks like. We're still waiting for a trailer. We're probably going to get a trailer at D23, I would imagine. So I'm just having the best optimism about it, because, again, there's nothing wrong with being having your criticisms. But to take it a step further and attack someone who's making content, attack someone and sending death threats, that's not okay. And you seriously, I think you have a problem, a mental problem, when you have to do stuff like that. And that's just like how I feel about it. Like I said, I've had people in the comments try to say, like, oh, you're not a real Spider-Man fan. Your kind is what's wrong with Spider-Man now. And I'm like, Stan Lee literally had an interview with Larry King. You can look it up. He said right then and there, he said anyone can wear the mask. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Latina. It doesn't matter what color you are. You can be a freaking pig. We have a freaking pig who is Spider-Man. Like, anybody. It's just so frustrating. Even now, 14 years later, after Miles Morales has been introduced, people will still say, oh, he's not Spider-Man, though. He's Miles Morales. He is Spider-Man. He's proved in comics, he's proved in movies, he's proved in video games why he is Spider-Man in his own right and deserves to be. Just like Gwen Stacy deserves to be, Miguel O'Hara, Hobie Brown, the list goes on and on. The stories and these characters are out there. Rather you choose to be ignorant enough not to do research, that's on you. And that's how I feel about it. And people trying to say I'm a part of the woke culture. I've never been a part of the woke culture. I simply just enjoy entertainment. All things entertainment. It doesn't matter if it's books, games, all of that. And if you have a problem with me enjoying that, then respectfully, here's what you can do. You can get the hell off my channel because I don't accept that kind of behavior over here. We respect everybody over here. And again, if you have a problem with it, there's a door. Because we're not having the anti-woke business over here. Again, we respect people. And yeah, you're going to respect me. And yeah, I'm trying not to like rant, but it's just really frustrating that this is constantly a thing on the internet. But it always will be because, again, at the end of the day, I have a life outside of this YouTube thing. You know, I'm not obligated to do YouTube, and I'm certainly not obligated to do videos about stuff I hate because again, I did one video on Velma, and that was before the show came out. You haven't seen me do any more videos on Velma because you know what? I don't care. I don't have the time to care. I have things outside of my life that I have more business, tending to than worry about a show that I clearly dislike and have shared my dislike, and that's it. And again, yeah, that's how I feel about it. But again, people are going to make content about whatever they want to make content on. Rather, it's good content. That's for, your opinion on that. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. I want to read your guys' comments. So let's see what you guys are saying because I know you guys are saying a lot. Let's see. Oh, hello. I thought this was going to start at 5. What's up? How are you doing? Sorry, Marvel fan. Yeah, it was going to start at 5, but I ended up changing it to 4:30. I'm gonna have to do something a little later, so that's why I kind of changed the time up. So I'm very sorry about that. I hope you're doing good though. I'm doing good. What's up, Carson? You said I'm ready for an older Peter Parker story. I think it's time we get Mayday as well, but in live action. Yeah, that, like I said, that would be cool. And again, like not discounting an older Peter Parker story, it would be nice to see it. I've been reading the current Ultimate Spider-Man run, and I think that would be really cool to see in live action. There's a lot of good stuff in the Ultimate Spider-Man run for you, fans that feel like, Peter Parker, we haven't seen him mature, we haven't seen him with the family. You get to see that dynamic in that comic. So I definitely recommend that comic for anybody who wants to check that out. It would be dope to see Spider-Girl in live action as well as with old man Peter Parker. Yeah, that would be cool too. And with the new direction of the whole Spider-Verse and, Chris Miller and Phil Lord basically taking over for the Sony Spider-Verse, I think we could see more projects like that, especially with the announcement we just got with Spider-Noir. I know Silk has been canceled, so we'll have to see where that all goes. But I would love to see some, older Peter Parker, older Spider-Man, and Spider-Girl. Spider-Woman, awesome. Let's see. Geez, don't shoot the messenger, guys. He's just reporting on the news. I think a lot of the hate is coming from the MCU spider haters, and also people who want a continuation of the 90s cartoon. That's exactly how it is because, and a lot of, something else that I need to go ahead and clear the air with. They never said that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, aka Freshman Year, when it was called that, was going to be a Tom Holland prequel. They never said that. Some big YouTuber on here said that it was going to be that, and everybody ran with it. They never said this was going to be canon to the MCU. They never said this was going to be canon to Tom Holland's story. So whoever lied to you guys, they gave you a big lie because they never said that. And I reported that way back when. They never reported about that. So what's up, Solomon? How you doing? How you doing, Ultimate Anthony? Why are they being rude to them like they're doing hard work for the show? Exactly. Like, again, we haven't seen the show. We haven't seen what it looks like. Obviously, we've seen the concept art. And again, the concept art, and they've mentioned it time and time again, that it's a homage to Steve Ditko. If you guys don't know who Steve Ditko is, Steve Ditko is the original illustrator for Spider-Man. As you guys can see, I got a big compilation book of some of the old comics, and yes, this is Steve Ditko. He did a lot of he illustrated who we have Spider-Man to be today. So if it wasn't for him, a lot of these quote-unquote Spider-Man fans wouldn't be in existence today if it wasn't for this man. So that's just another thing. So put some respect on Steve Ditko. Um, I hope we get a good video on this of this time because the last couple Spider-Man movies have not been good. Yeah, I understand. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not a fan of Tom Holland's trilogy. I'm just not a fan. To me, I don't see him as Spider-Man, and just some of the things that they kind of changed up with the whole Mary Jane situation and just a couple other story elements. I'm just not keen on. And also, putting him into, Iron Man's shadow really didn't do any good for his character, in my honest opinion. Because for me, when I think of Spider-Man, I think of Peter Parker again trying to make on his own, a broke individual who again is trying to make ends meet. He has to go and get a wrestling job to go get money for Aunt May and the rents. That's what I think of when I think of Spider-Man. So he's very crafty, very resourceful. Multiverses will be awesome. Yeah, multiverses will be awesome. See, it's okay, Josh. I'm here for you. Just focus on the good. Think like 2K subs. Yeah, yeah. Also, that's an awesome thing to bring up. Yes. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We recently just hit 2K and we got 500,000 views on YouTube collectively. That's 500,000. Honestly, I didn't think I would even get to this point, but it's just I'm still even shocked about it now. I do want to do a 2K celebration live stream at some point, so we'll try to focus more on that. Let's say it's okay. Don't shoot the messenger. You're just saying what you have heard and research. They should complain to the creators. Yeah. Thoughts on X-Men 97 episode 10? I enjoyed it. What a really cool finale, and a lot of the cameos and stuff that was in that episode I wasn't expecting, but the way they set up season 2 is gonna be really, really cool. And some of the stuff that we theorized, it seems like it's gonna happen in the next season. So yeah, looking forward to it. Also, you may have heard this, but people did not like X-Men 97. Do not judge a book by its cover. Exactly. People, you want to know the amount of people when I made that video about X-Men 97 is not going to be woke? I had so many comments on that video. People telling me, oh, you're a part of the woke culture. Oh, you're a Disney shill and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't judge. I don't act like a man baby and go out and judge something like an immature child before I've even seen it. That's honestly how I feel about it. And again, bear in mind, this is before the trailer. This is way before the trailer came out. So, again, it's the internet. People are gonna be people. At the end of the day, they're gonna judge anything and everything possible. That's just how it is. Do you think you can rank all of the X-Men episodes now that they're all out? You can do it later or now. I'll do a separate stream for that because I'd have to go back and rewatch all the episodes to kind of kind of give you a whole like ranking for it. If I had a better setup, I would love to do a tier list stream, and then I can just go based off of that. So yeah, I'll figure something out. See, Koi Fish, he said, you make informed decisions. Rare nowadays. Yeah, like, it's so easy to judge something based off of maybe a screenshot or maybe like a picture or concept art. But when you really see it like a trailer or you see the show for yourself, you kind of give your own opinion because a lot of, people like to go on the internet and just find whatever little bit they can and be negative about it to try to, say that it's this agenda. And a lot of those people, their minds are so far from reality that when they think that even something as simple as a minor change, they go to automatically thinking it's woke or that it's a conspiracy or the government is out to get them and just stuff like that. It's just it's like, how can you spend all of your life like that paranoid to think that every single being of the universe is like out to get you? I never understood that mentality. Yeah, it is mob behavior. It really is because it's like it's one and then you get a tons more that come after you. And it's like, well, dang, like I'm just reporting the stuff and I'm just giving my thoughts on it. Like I'm, but people for some reason on the internet take a offense to everything. You could say, like, there was a post. You could say, "Oh, I like waffles," but then someone gets offended and is like, "Well, what about pancakes? Are you trying to say pancakes are not good?" And it's like, "Well, no, I just prefer waffles." Like, that's it. Like, it's really nothing to really make a big deal about. But again, people do, and I know this is just how the internet is. The internet has really enabled a lot of people behind avatars to, have a lot of very aggressive opinions and not really think logically enough to have a mature, perspective on things. And that's what I want to try to change here, is to give people a more mature mindset, a more grounded reality of, okay, maybe let's look at things from another angle, because there's always, two sides of the story. There's always a bigger picture. And that's always an important mindset. Now, there's certain situations that are like, okay, that was wrong. Like, that was wrong. But then there are certain situations where it's like, okay, well, what was it like on that side? Um, so yeah. Do you like the newer X-Men 97 suits or the older ones they wore? As much as I like the comic accurate ones that they had from the Uncanny X-Men, I prefer the old ones they had. They're just more iconic. Again, the Jim Lee era of X-Men is like my favorite era, and I just love the way he was just able to, draw the X-Men in that, their outfits and stuff. They had these very unique, outfits. So I prefer the old ones that they had. But again, the ones that they had, the again were pretty cool. But again, I prefer the old ones. Are you planning to see Garfield soon? It comes out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. I'm seeing it on the weekend. Cannot wait. I love all things Garfield. I'm hoping to see it this weekend. I can't make any promises, but I do want to go see the Garfield movie, and if I do, I'm definitely going to do a review. I haven't really been looking too much at reviews, but I do know people are kind of mixed on the movie. But again, it's always best to go to movies yourself and like check it out, because a lot of people can always try to say like, "Oh, this movie was bad," and then you go see it, and it's like, well, it wasn't as bad as people say it was, or you may think the movie was actually good. Let's see, Mike Tyson. She said, Mike Tyson said it right. People on the internet are not afraid to get punched, or are not afraid to get punched in the face, and that's the problem. Exactly. Exactly. People hide behind these, again, people hide behind these avatars, but then if these people came face to face with you, they would never say a lot of the things that they say on the internet. And that's actually a pretty cool idea that maybe a channel will do in the future, to kind of prove that point to people. Like, maybe someone said something to them online, and then they find the person who exactly said it, and then see their reaction when they're face to face with that person. Because again, the dynamic is always different with somebody on the internet than it is in person. So, um, most of the time, just depends. Me too. Okay, you're excited for the Garfield movie as well. Awesome. I'm good. I hope you see it, bro. Yeah, I definitely do want to see it at some point. Like I said, hopefully this week. If not this weekend, I'll definitely try to see it next weekend. There's just a lot of movies coming up. We got. I still haven't seen the Planet of the Apes movie yet, so I want to try to go see that at some point. The Garfield movie. Then we got Bad Boys 4. That's gonna be June 7th, I believe. So I definitely want to go see that. Um, but the summer's starting to kick off with some interesting movies. We got Deadpool and Wolverine in July, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that whole ordeal goes. I'm just waiting to see some Looney Tunes movie. Yeah, hopefully we get some more information on the Looney Tunes movie. That would be nice to see that come out this year. Our first full 2D, animated movie. So hopefully we'll see that. I mean, I'm not gonna see Garfield. Oh, you're not? Okay. Well, what movie are you gonna see, by the way? But yeah, with the whole topic I was talking about earlier about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, like how do you guys feel about it? Do you guys like the changes? Did you guys, were you guys would have preferred something else? Do you guys feel like the whole high school thing is maybe played out, or maybe you don't mind it if the story is different? Let's see. You're still waiting on Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, we're still waiting on it. Did you? By the way, did you get your tickets for it? I did get tickets for it. I believe it's like, according to AMC, it was like the fastest first day sellout of a movie, which that's pretty big. Um, I know the theater is going to be packed. That's what I know. So definitely looking forward to if there are some things that happen in the film like people are expecting. That the reactions are just something cool because this might be for a lot of people their first time in a while since Endgame. That they have like a reactionary reaction to whatever happens. I still like calling it Spider-Man freshman year. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I honestly feel like that name just stuck more, but I'm kind of curious as to why they changed the name to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Maybe there's a plot reason as to why. We'll just have to wait and see. But I honestly like freshman year better. Let's see, Eddie Views, you said the irony of those who choose to hate is that their videos that explain why this film or show is bad without malice and still gets more views than videos that praises what they want. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, for some reason, and I don't know why, but negativity seems to strike people more than positivity. And I've noticed that a lot. You'll have something that, was good and a lot of people enjoyed it, but then you'll have someone who hated the show, and it's like they get more views for it. Or it's like, oh, they do some kind of like title and it gets people in, and then it just drives more engagement for them, and I think that's why they do it is because of the fact that it drives more engagement. Those videos get more recommended. Like I said with my story, like that video that got recommended to me about them talking negatively on the show, though having not seen anything about it, that got engagement. I enabled it and it got engagement out of me. So I guess maybe you could say I'm a part of that issue too. And that's something that, again, we'll have to work on and change, through YouTube's, trajectory. Um, let's see. You said I'm fine without Spider-Man 98. Yeah, like I get people want to see Spider-Man 98 and I get it. Like there's so much more story to be told with Spider-Man 98, but I'm not going to be someone who's, toxically being like, "Oh, I don't care about this show. I want Spider-Man 98. That's what I care about." Like I'm not going to be that person because there may be an audience out there and there may be somebody out there who is looking forward to the show like me. I'm looking forward to the show. There's other people that I've talked to that, looking forward to the show. I follow the writer on Twitter. I follow the illustrator, which by the way, let's see if I have it. I have it somewhere, but I have a book, and he actually illustrated the cover for one of the books. Hold on, let me see it. I've actually showed this one off. It was the Daredevil one that I have. The artist on Twitter, he actually drew the cover art for this, and this is like the Daredevil comics. So again, really talented guy. You should see some of his work. His name is Leo Romero on Twitter, and he does a lot of illustrations for comic books and stuff. He did one for the Avengers. He's done a lot of the Mighty Marvel Masterwork comics. Front covers for. There's another one for Spider-Man that's going to be coming out in November. That's he's done one for. So very talented guy. Let's see. I hope tickets get out next month. Yeah, tickets are out right now, so hopefully you'll get the tickets by next month. It should be. I think if Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is good enough, I'm fine without Spider-Man 98. And yeah, like, again, we don't know. Like, people were judging X-Men 97. And now X-Men 97 is all people can talk about. I've seen many posts this week. Oh, man, it sucks we don't have another episode of X-Men 97. I'm like, yeah, well, that's funny because, again, a lot of you were talking a lot of crap about the show before it even aired, but now you guys love the show. Funny how things work, but just the people who were excited from the beginning, since the very beginning, it's really great to see like the conversations that people have about the show entirely, because it's a great show, and seeing the direction that they're going in is going to be an interesting direction. That's all I'm going to say. There's even people who want Spectacular Spider-Man back. And yeah, like, that's the thing, too. I've seen those comments, too. I don't want this show. I want Spectacular Spider-Man. And here's the thing. Like, I understand that Spectacular Spider-Man is a animated Spider-Man show that's high in regard for a lot of people. But I'm going to be honest. I've never really liked Spectacular Spider-Man's animation. Personally. I just never really liked it, never really caught on with me. I know there's a lot of great stories with the whole symbiote and Venom arc, and even the whole Gwen Stacy change in dynamic. Now I know, that whole thing, but I've just never really been someone who's just, been attached to Spectacular Spider-Man. So for me, again, I get people liking it, and again, it's, your opinion, but for me personally, I'm just not someone who thinks it's the best Spider-Man animated series. But yeah, that's what's so cool about it, is we all have different opinions. Also, I like that. I'm looking forward to the show. It looks really good. Yeah, yeah. Like, again, from the concept art, we haven't really seen anything about it, but from the concept art, I love the style. It's a comic book style. I've always wanted to have like a comic book esque show. Like, we obviously have like Spider Verse, and that's like taken from the comics, but like a full on Peter Parker show that's going back to the Ditko era, the John Romita Senior era. Those comics that I read as a kid. That was like my first introduction to Spider-Man. Was those comics, along with obviously Tobey Maguire and the '90s Spider-Mans. But that was like my introduction to him. Let's see. Bye Bye Bunny. Yeah, the Looney Tunes movie. Yeah, we're all fighting for them. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to fight for those movies, because those movies definitely need to be seen, and I really do hope we do get to see those movies, because they all are very interesting. And Looney Tunes is, I feel like, is a franchise that people think is overrated, but I'm like, there's so much more story to tell with the Looney Tunes characters, and the Looney Tunes show showed us that. See, Eddie Views, you said, I also find it strange that the show The Boys, which is a satire based on a controversial made by a creator who hated the superhero genre. I believe the audience, we can get a double-edged sword. Yeah, like I said, like this, what's so cool about genres in general is that you can do so many different things. Like, again, the ironic, thing about the creator not liking the superhero genre, but then making a show about it, and it's one of the biggest popular things on Amazon, and one of the bigger things. And The Boys, that season comes out next month, and people are excited for it. I'm excited for it. And so yeah, like, there's so many different ways you can tell stories, and just being able to find a way to do something different with it. I'm hoping the voice actor for Spider-Man isn't just copying Tom Holland, and maybe does his own take on the character. Yes, I'm hoping that too. Because what makes the Insomniac Spider-Man Yuri Lowenthal so great is the fact that he's not trying to be Tom Holland. He's trying to be a grown-up Spider-Man, because that Spider-Man, he's been 10 years in the game as Spider-Man. And I think that's why, the Spider-Man games, were so monumental for a lot of people, because this was giving us Spider-Man 10 years, after him, his story with, high school and all that. Like, we obviously got the high school flashback in Spider-Man 2 if you guys have played it, but seeing a grown-up Spider-Man, for a lot of people, that's what people wanted for a long time. So I understand it, and I adore those games. Although, like I said, I do have some issues with Spider-Man 2. I do feel like Spider-Man 2 had a lot of pacing issues and some things with that game, but I still don't think it's a game that should be hated. But I feel like there was more story to tell with that game. Are you gonna play Mortal Kombat 1 Homeland is being released? Um, I haven't played the new Mortal Kombat game. I've seen gameplay of it. It, like I said, it looks interesting. Like obviously you have Omni Man, you have Homelander. I believe that's what you were referring to, Homelander. Um, but I don't currently have the game. The people are upset because Norman is black. Yeah, see that's the thing too. And I did a little history on that on Twitter. You guys know Norman Osborn, his haircut from the early Silver Age comics is like finger waves, right? So, what? Let me ask you this: why have we not seen that with William Defoe? Why didn't in the Toby trilogy? Why didn't we get that with William Defoe? And the reason for that being is because when you really look at that hairstyle, and I'm not trying to like put it upon, but the hairstyle looks like it's something that a person of color would have, because again, like you don't, not from the pictures that I've seen of movie stars and stuff back then. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but you don't really see a movie star back then having a haircut like that. It's mostly like how Norman Osborn is in the Toby movies. So that's why they haven't done it. And like again, this is a different Spider-Man story. This is taken from the source material, but it's also doing something different with the source material. And a lot of people don't know, but if you go on IMDb, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko actually written some of the episodes from the show. So apparently this has been in the works for a long time. So that's another factor to put in to consideration. I think most people liked it. Let's see. Most people liked it. Where are you talking to? Oh yeah, yeah. Most people like the Spider-Man, the Insomniac Spider-Man games. I think every Marvel show should get its due time. Should get it in due time. Referring to what exactly? You mean like every character should get a show, or every character should get a movie? Because I'm gonna be honest, that's a lot. That's a lot of characters because Marvel is so like there's so many characters in Marvel, and it would be a lot. Okay, you feel like every Marvel character should get its own cartoon. Yeah, it just depends. It depends because certain characters who people want to see, like obviously people want to see a Daredevil cartoon, people want to see a Deadpool one, people want to see Blade. So there are like a lot of characters, but they could also do some unknown characters too. That would be cool to see some unknown characters. And speaking of that, that was another comment I got on that video. Someone said like, "Oh, we don't want this because this show has D-list characters." And I'm like, obviously, you guys know Nico. She's from The Runaways, and that was another thing in that video he brought up, like, "Oh, The Runaways, the show nobody ever watched." Well, I'm like, okay, she's not just from that show. She's an actual character in the comics. You know, uh, Amadeus Cho, who is another version of the Hulk, like a lot of these characters that are in the show, Peter Parker in some way, shape, or form has interacted with throughout his history, and also even taught. Because Peter Parker, Spider-Man was a teacher, and he taught like the Agents of Atlas, which is what Amadeus Cho is in, Nico Monero is in. There are a few other characters, like a lot of those characters are from the Agents of Atlas. What adaptation do you think can benefit as an animated show? Excuse the loud noise outside. Got guys revving up outside. To me, it could go with Sin City, Bebop, Rocksteady Destroys Everything, or Earthbound. Never played it, but sheesh, the story. I actually haven't checked out those stories. As far as I know what Rocksteady is, I know what Bebop and Rocksteady are, but as far as like Sin City, I haven't really checked too much into those. Let's see, Rev Runner versus Quicksilver X Men. Okay, that would be uh, interesting little bout. See who's the fastest. They must have forgotten when Lex Luthor and Superman was black. Yeah, Lex Luthor and Superman was black. You guys remember for a time that Kingpin was black in one of the movies. So like it's been done before, and there's been voice actors that have voiced, characters that they aren't particularly black, but you wouldn't know unless you looked it up. So again, it all depends on who's gonna bring something to the part, because you guys remember I did the video a while back about like predicting, like I think Giancarlo Esposito is gonna play Norma Osborn in the show. That was like a theory I had, and that's kind of been heavily rumored right now that he could be either playing Norma Osborn or another character in Ties to Blade. But if that does become true that he is playing Norma Osborn, I mean that would be something, because his character in the concept art, he looks like, Giancarlo Esposito. I didn't know Lex Luthor is black. Well, no, he's not. He's not black, but in the movie, they had, I don't remember what Superman movie it was. It was one of the animated ones, right? I believe it was one of the animated ones. He was black in that film. So it does happen. Like, characters have been changed around a lot. Sunspot, like people talk about the X-Men, like Sunspot, his character was changed. Sunspot isn't Latina. He's actually black, but they changed him in X-Men 97, which I believe that caused some controversy. Again, with everything, there's always going to be controversy. There's always going to be people who just want to find something to complain about, because that's just the way it is. In this life, for some reason, nothing can never be 100% positive. There's always going to be that 1%, that 5%, that 10% of people that just want to find something negative, just to find something negative. A horseman of apocalypse. Yeah, that's what they're going to lead to. That's definitely what they're going to lead to. So you know where season 2 is going. You know where season 2 is going to go with this. Let's see, kitchen gun. What do you mean by kitchen gun, Jonathan? Also, the same people who are complaining about this, the same people who are made jokes in the past about Black Panther being recasted with Ryan Gosling. By the way, and I just think it's weird how you guys make jokes about that, but you know when it comes to Norma Osborn being a different race, it's like, oh no, we can't have that. Cancel the show. Again, like I said, people are always gonna have their agendas on how they see things and how things should be in terms of how they feel like it should be. I think these toxic fans are unhappy because they hate people enjoying stuff. They hate. Yeah, they do. People hate things. And when they hate things, they want to try to ruin it for everybody else, because that's just the way they feel. Like, that's just the way it is. And I honestly get a laugh out of it, because it's like, do people really care? Like, do people honestly care about you, making 15 videos on the same 15 videos about you complaining about Norma Osborn being blackwashed, or, whatever they like to call it, You like, no, at the end of the day, no one's gonna care, because people are gonna watch the show. People are gonna obviously have their thoughts, and if they like it or not. Because again, with X-Men 97, oh, they turned morph to be, gender fluid. Like, okay, you still watch the show, and now you like the show. So, you know, again, people are always gonna complain and judge, and just find something to be upset about. Kind of ridiculous to get upset about the Osborns being a different race, grow up as superheroes, or a great way for people to connect. Yeah, they are. They are. And again, like, that's why we have the Spider-Verse. Like, that's why, and again, pulling back to the comics, right? Look at this. Like, we have all these Spider-Men and Spider-Women on here. All different colors, different backgrounds, different creeds, because that's what Stan Lee said he wanted this character to become. Obviously, Peter Parker will always be the number one. He will always be the originator. But there's nothing wrong with branching out to Miles, branching out to Spider-Woman, branching out to Spider-Punk and Spider-Pig and Spider-Noir. There's nothing wrong with that. because there's a lot of history with those characters too. And I just think it's a win. I just think it's a win regardless. Kitchen Guy video. He did a video. What did he do a video on? Hey, how you doing, King Flame? I hope you're doing good. I hope everybody's doing good. On this lovely Thursday. It won't be on too long, so when it gets like an hour, I'll probably end the stream. But I said I want to try to do another stream this weekend. Maybe do a celebratory stream for us hitting 2K, because that's a big milestone. That's a really big milestone. I extremely agree. I mean, that's partly why the original Ultimate Universe is special to me. I mean, that's where Miles came from, and I read. Yeah, like Miles getting introduced Miles getting introduced to me was a very, life-changing thing, because I had always, like, in the lunch line, like, in the cafeteria, we would always sit around, and I always say, like, imagine a black Spider-Man. Like, imagine how cool it would be for Peter Parker to have a friend beside him. And, people looked at me like I was crazy. They thought I was just talking out of my head, like, oh, that's never gonna happen, that in your dreams. And I was just hoping that maybe one day that would happen, and we did. Like 2011, we got the Ultimate Universe, we got Miles. And a lot of people didn't really know about Miles then. I didn't really know about Miles until, again, the Spider-Verse films. If it wasn't for the Spider-Verse films, I wouldn't have known who Miles Morales was. And when I saw Into the Spider-Verse for the first time in theaters, it was a life-changing experience for me, because I finally got to see someone who looked like me, who wasn't just a sidekick, who wasn't just a side character helping the hero. He was an actual hero in his own right, and that's why Miles Morales, to me, holds a special place in my heart. Even going further into, again, the Insomniac games, when he got introduced, I didn't expect for him to get introduced into the first Spider-Man game. Bear in mind, then he wasn't Spider-Man, he was just Miles. But when we get to see him, and then he gets his own game. And to me, Miles Morales, that game is another game that just holds a special place in my heart. Not only just because it's Miles, but the environment, the snow, the Christmas, theme that it had with it, this theme of family. It was just like a really special thing. And again, I think Miles Morales is, he's a character, a family character. Sorry, I wrote a comment and said era. What did you say? What did you say? Let's see. What's your favorite characters from the Spider-Man movies? Are we talking like Spider-Verse characters? Or are we talking like villains? Um, Let me know. You are going to watch the Spider-Man show. Okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, give it a try. That's all. Really, all you can do is just give it a try. Like I said, it's easy to be negative about things and say, "Oh, I ain't watching that. Forget about it. It's woke. It's garbage. It's a mess." But when you actually take the time to watch the trailer or watch the show, then you have a different opinion. Or maybe the opinion may be different, maybe the same. It just all depends again. So this is my theory. I think Wolverine is also going to be, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I say, if you read the comics, you know where this is going. I don't want to spoil too much, because I don't know if people have seen the season yet. That's why I didn't. I should have done a stream for the finale, but I didn't. Also, I was busy with a lot of other stuff, so I wasn't able to. You explained that perfectly, man. Thank you, thank you. I try my best to like explain stuff, the best way. Sometimes it comes out like the way I want it, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm glad that you thought that I explained it the best way I know how. Let's see, where to watch the Spider-Man shows? On Disney Plus. All of them dating back to this old classic Spider-Man show from the, what, 60s, 70s? I can't remember, but they're on there. Then you got 90s Spider-Man, then you got Spidey and his amazing friends when he teamed up with Firestorm and Iceman. So you can watch all those on Disney Plus. I believe the only one they don't have, and I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember that they took off Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't know if it's back on there, but you'll have to check and see. I also think Archangel is going to be, because in the post Archangel is also going to be a horseman, because on the poster thing it had Archangel. Yeah, he was missing. Yeah, a lot of the heroes and stuff on there were missing. The interesting one to me was Wanda. Apparently Wanda is off Earth. So if she's off Earth, I wonder if we're gonna get House of M. Now we kind of got some elements of House of M in WandaVision, and I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get some more stuff, because you guys have probably heard that there is a Vision show that's gonna be, coming out in 2026. So we're probably gonna get some more House of M stuff from that. I'm so happy you did a stream. See, you never watched the Spider-Man show before. Really? Okay. I'll suggest one to you if you want a suggestion. It'll be the Spider-Man the animated series for me. I feel like that's one that you could definitely get into. Um, so yeah, just kind of check that out if you want. Let's see. Also, I'm happy you did a stream. I was waiting for this. I was checking YouTube, like Josh is doing a stream today. Awesome, awesome. I'm glad you could come by with the streams always. You always come by with the streams. So I'm glad you can, and just everybody who comes by and just checks out the streams. Like, I'm glad you're here. Even if it's just for a little bit, just it really means a lot. And yeah, I hope they do a Wonder Man show. They are doing a Wonder Man show. I believe we just got an announcement yesterday that Wonder Man is going to be a part of the Marvel Spotlight. So if you guys remember Echo, the show Echo, that was a part of Marvel Spotlight. That's going to be a part of that too. I wish they would do a Disney Plus. I wish Disney Plus didn't take off the MTV one. They had the MTV one? I actually didn't know that. I actually don't believe I've seen the MTV one. I don't think I have. Let's see. Is awesome. I recommend the Spider-Man the Animated Series and the Spectacular Spider-Man show. Which Spider-Man show should I watch first? Yeah. What Marvel fans said. Check out the animated series and then check out Spectacular Spider-Man. Check those out. Because those are good. Those are good ones. I love growing up with the cell shaded animation. Yeah, the cell shaded animation was definitely an interesting, topic to, it was definitely an interesting style back then. And, they had like the 3D computer generated backgrounds too. Which I'm kind of curious how they would do that now if they had done Spider-Man 98 or if they still plan to. How would they go about that? Would it just be fully animated backgrounds like, fully 3D animated backgrounds like in X-Men 97? So that's something we'll have to see. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. That's a pretty cool shot of Daredevil there. Full comic view. I love stuff like that. Let's see. Daredevil Born Again is going to be Spotlight, I think. I believe that's a part of Marvel Television. Because they had the upfront and Disney was there. And they talked about Daredevil Born Again, Ironheart, and Agatha. Which, funny enough, the show Agatha comes out on my birthday. So, yeah. September 18th, by the way. So, I might watch the show. We'll see. We'll see. Agatha is an interesting character. I don't know much about her besides the fact that she's a villain and, she's in WandaVision. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that one. Also, that is good to know that Wonder Man show was only... Yeah, it's still happening. As far as I've heard, it's still happening. They did a report on it yesterday. I'm on Disney Plus right now, and it's a lot of Spider-Man shows. Yeah, there's a lot of Spider-Man content out there. But yeah, you'll see the animated series. The banner will be of Spider-Man kind of... He's launching towards the screen. That's the one that's Spider-Man the Animated Series. Also, King Flame is awesome to watch Spider-Man the Animated Series first, then Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah, that's the order I would do it in. Is watch the animated series first, and then the Spectacular Spider-Man one afterwards. Yeah. What's up? How are you doing, Shao Kahn Champion? I don't want to butcher your name. I hope I said it right. Did I say it right? Let me know if I did. But welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. We're just chatting about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and Spider-Man related stuff. Just Marvel stuff in general. We're just chatting about. So if you have any input, definitely don't be afraid to share a comment. We'll discuss it. Yes, did very well. Okay, okay. All right. Awesome. Also wanted to just say congratulations on 2K subs. You fully deserve it. Thank you, Marvel fan. Thank you. You know, like I said, I always say every stream, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys supporting me and just showing love on the content. Um, so I don't want to put it all on myself because again, without you guys, I don't know if I would still be doing the channel. I don't know what the channel would even be like at this point because again, in the beginning, I did so much of a variety of content that I didn't really know exactly like what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to do so many things. So again, I know you guys have been asking about the live action stuff on my other channel, Jace TV. When am I going to get that going? And I keep saying I'm going to get it going soon, but I am going to get it going because there are some interesting, cool movies that are coming out this summer that I would love to do reviews on and just talk about. So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. I also love Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie from 2002. Yeah, the Tobey Maguire trilogy. Spider-Man 1 and 2. Just, great movies. 3, like I said, 3 has its issues, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. Though I do wish the whole Venom story, I wish there was more time with that. I feel like there just wasn't enough time with Venom, and then they kind of put Sandman in there, but I felt like they didn't really give much time to Sandman either. So I wish they would have done like maybe Sandman being the villain in this movie, and then maybe Venom in the next movie, and then because there was gonna be a Spider-Man 4, but it got canceled, and there's stuff behind the scenes that you can check out about that film. See, I remember getting 3 on the collector's DVD from my mom with the tiny comics from the original Venom run. Really? Are we talking like the Todd McFarlane run? I believe that's when Venom was introduced, like Todd McFarlane, right? Because there's that iconic, there's that iconic comic cover of Venom, grabbing onto Spidey. Which one is the first on Disney Plus, the Spider-Man show or the original Spider-Man show, 1994? When did when did Spider-Man the animated series come out? Do you guys know what year? I know it was in the 90s, but I don't remember what year. Because X-Men the animated series came out in 92. So did it come out in 93, like a year after? Not okay, 94. Okay, 94. That's the one. King Flame. The one in 1994. That's the one. But yeah, now that you guys are kind of asking me questions and stuff, what are some of your favorite Spider-Man characters? It doesn't have to be just simply a Spider-Man. It could be a villain, it could be a side character. Yes, it's on Disney Plus, the first one. Yes. Yes, that one. Green. Okay, Carter, you said Green Goblin and side character MJ. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Green Goblin. He is Spider-Man's ultimate villain. He really is. Like, you know how Joker is to Batman, you know, Green Goblin is to Spider-Man. And again, like reading the comics when I was younger, and like, you know, they did this entire build up through the comics of, you know, who is the Green Goblin? Are we gonna find out who the Green Goblin is? And then you find out who it is, and then it's like, oh snap! Like I didn't expect that. So they did a really good job back then of kind of just leading people on, teasing people as to who Green Goblin is. And then you find out it's Norman Osborn. Then you see the dynamic change with Peter and Harry, and they become friends. And that was another debate I saw online recently. Like, oh, why is it in the Toby trilogy? Like, why is Harry you best friends with him? And like, well, if we want to go based off like the history of the comics, like Peter didn't meet Harry until college. He didn't meet, you know, Harry and Gwen until college. The only people he had technically in school, in high school, was like Flash Thompson, Betty Brant. Well, Betty Brant wasn't in high school. She worked at the Daily Bugle, so technically she's Peter's first girlfriend, but not also official girlfriend. It's a really weird dynamic. Then you have Liz Allen, which Liz Allen was another girl that had an interest in Peter. So you have that. And then, like I said, you go to the college years. You meet Gwen Stacy. You meet Harry Osborn for the first time, and Harry Osborn and Peter were not friends. Oh no, they were enemies at first. They didn't like each other. But again, until like I said, the whole dynamic with the Green Goblin and that sort of thing, then they became friends later on. But they were frenemies at first. Ben Riley, though, they kind of ruined him recently. Yeah, Ben Riley. Yeah, because he was in Across the Spider Verse. Is that what you were referring to, or is it like something dealing with the comics that you feel like they ruined him? What's your favorite '80s cartoon? That's a good question. That's something I'll have to think about because let's see what as far as like '80s cartoons, I'd have to go with the I'd have to go with the Ninja Turtles. 1987 Ninja Turtles. If we were talking in terms of like '80s cartoons, let's see, '80s cartoons. Because I'm trying to figure out a list. Oh, we got Garfield and Friends, the Smurfs, the Thundercats, He-Man. Okay, this is actually it. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. uh, Spider-Man: The Amazing Friends, DuckTales. Wait, yeah, DuckTales, Inspector Gadget. Yeah, now thinking about it, there were a lot of awesome cartoons in the '80s. So it would definitely be, and then we got the Simpsons, which I love the Simpsons. I'd say Garfield and Friends, the Ninja Turtles, the Thundercats, and He-Man. There's others on the list too, but that's kind of just like a four or five of them. Let's see, in the comics. Okay. I also wish Harry became Hobgoblin in the third Spider-Man film. Yeah, it seemed like they were teasing him to be Hobgoblin in that movie, and they just didn't execute it in that movie. So I wonder if we would have gotten that in Spider-Man 4, if that did happen. People are still rooting for it, but I don't know if it'll actually happen. He ended up wanting to steal his memories back from Peter and teaming up with Madeline Pryor, and just all around from going from his second redemption to character assassination. Yeah, that is a weird. That is weird. Why would he want to retake his take his memories back from Peter and then try to team up with Madeline Pryor? That's definitely very very odd and out of character for Ben. Okay, I had to go. I'm back. Okay, awesome. Welcome back. Which is better, iOS or Android? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, I'm currently on an Android. Had an iPhone one time, and honestly, I didn't like it. Honestly, didn't like it. You know, not hating iPhone, but you know, all the videos that I do, and this is gonna shock a lot of people. All the videos that I do and content that I do is like strictly from my phone. I don't really have a computer. The only time I use my laptop is when I have to do extra typing or read out the articles to you guys. Sometimes you guys see me looking down in my videos. That's me like actually looking down at my laptop because I'm reading out the information that's like displayed on the screen. So that's a little behind the scenes of how I make my videos and stuff. And that's what's so cool about content creation is the fact that you don't even have to have all the. I mean, you can have all the fancy stuff, and it does help, production wise when you want to have better quality and stuff. But sometimes you just all you need is your phone. All you need is your phone, and that's it. Really. What did you miss? Oh, we talked about some different things. We asked, we were asking. I asked like, what are some people's favorite, Spider-Man characters, side characters, villains. We also talked about the Spider-Man show. King Flame is watching the 1994 Spider-Man show right now. Angelo was talking about Ben Riley in the comics and how they ruined his character as of recently. Very good discussion on that. Carter talking about Harry Osborn he wanted him to become Hobgoblin in Spider-Man 3. Just a mix of variety of different things. A lot of good conversations. People said on the internet on YouTube they talk about iPhone is better than Android. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people get into the whole thing. It's kind of like the whole Xbox and PlayStation rivalry type thing. It's kind of like, if you have Xbox, cool. If you have PlayStation, cool. If you have both, that's even better. If you have Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, I mean, hey, you're set. I can't really complain, and I've played all three. So, I don't own all three, but I played all three, and I just enjoy them for what they are. I don't really try to get all into the competitiveness of which one is better. You know. Do you think it's more expensive? I think it's more expensive because it's more valuable, at least. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, because, iPhone really, like, all the stuff that, my experience with a 1 day iPhone, I'm calling it the 1 day iPhone experience. I actually didn't like the experience because, for one, I'm so used to Android where it's like, you can go online and literally find an APK of, Spotify Premium and you don't have to pay for Spotify. Um, don't say I said it, but somebody did. But and with iPhone, that you can't really do that because the whole system and how they do things on iPhone is like very, very much like limited, if you know what I mean. So it's like I went on iTunes and I was like, okay, and then you have to pay for iTunes and that sort of thing. And I'm like, I don't know about that, you know. So there was a lot of things with iPhone that felt very limited. The only reason why iPhone feels so expensive is because of the name, because it's Apple. At the end of the day, Apple are going to continue to make an iPhone every single year. Rather it's needed or not, that's up for discussion. I don't think iPhone needs to constantly make a new phone every single year. You don't see Xbox or PlayStation coming out with the console every single year. It's maybe every 4 to 5 years, every 4 to 6 years. It just depends. And I feel like that's how it should be with, iPhones. That's how it should be with phones. It shouldn't have to be like, the whole thing that they do. But again, that's like another business side. Let's see. You see, I missed all that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the new Spider-Man show coming out? I'd say I'm gonna give it a 9. Like I'm actually really excited for it. Ever since it's been announced, I've actually been really excited for it, and it just hasn't really changed. Nothing has really changed that for me. All good, all good. See, and my new favorite Spider-Man villain is Hobgoblin. He is. Is there a reason why you like Hobgoblin? How about the Kingpin? Yeah, the Kingpin. The My first introduction to the Kingpin was obviously like '90s Spider-Man, and the voice actor, I believe, what's his name? Roscoe. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But the voice actor for Kingpin in that show, he did a phenomenal job. Like the way he said certain phrases, and then you had the story, his backstory about his father and stuff like that. Like I loved his interpretation of Kingpin. Then we got Vincent D'Onofrio, and the Daredevil series, and Vincent D'Onofrio has killed it. I mean, you could say maybe in Hawkeye and maybe in Echo they kind of watered down his character because in the Netflix show, I mean, that Kingpin, he was just unhinged, man. Like, I don't want to go too much into it for those who haven't watched the show, but if you watch it, like, you actually get to see like how crazy and unhinged he can get, and he's like that even in the comics too. So I'm definitely going to be around for the rest of the stream. Awesome. Which is cheaper, Android or iPhone? I'd say Android. What happened to Macaulay Culkin? He's still around. Macaulay Culkin is still around. He doesn't do films and stuff as much. But if you've seen him, he actually got married to Brenda Song, which, if you guys remember Brenda Song, she was in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, which was a phenomenal show that I grew up on. That I'm pretty sure some of you grew up on too, in that Disney Channel era. But he's married to her. But he had a drug pro. Can I say that? He had a problem at one time, but he got through it. So Roscoe Brown, yes, that's his name, Roscoe Brown. Thank you, Angelo. I got a question for you. How did you come up with the name JaceTheDon? Okay, so when I came up with the name JaceTheDon, Jace is like one of the nicknames I have. It's a nickname I have, and I kind of just accepted it throughout time. And if you look up Jace, Jace has like a special meaning. It's a healing, and I like to think that I'm a person who likes to heal people in a way. So I kind of just kept the name Jace. I thought it was cool. That's like my alter ego. You know how people have a alter ego. That's kind of what that is. And then the Don. See, I grew up watching a lot of mafia gangster movies like Goodfellas, Godfather, stuff like that. But I wanted to know like the Don, like what is a Don? And then there's different contexts. Obviously in the mafia it's a different term, but if you look up the actual Don itself, it means gentleman. So I like to think of myself as a gentleman. Don't excuse me. I like to think of myself as a gentleman, so that's where that came from. But at first I was like, do I want to, should I space this out as Jace the Don? But it didn't sound right. So there's a popular YouTuber, and you guys know him, he does gaming, called Rad the Brad. So I really like the fact that he pretty much just had, his name completely all together instead of, broken apart. So I took inspiration from him, and I was like, you know what? I should just be Jace the Don, just together. It's just simple. So that's where the name came from. For those who did not know the story, now you know. I'm trying to get my friend to watch it, but he refuses because he likes Ben Affleck as Matt Moore. I've watched the Ben Affleck Daredevil. I'm not a fan of those movies. I'm just not a fan of his portrayal. To me, that's just not Daredevil. So hopefully you can convince your friend to check out Charlie Cox's Daredevil, because there's a lot of great story and just great acting from Charlie Cox, but also the supporting cast as well. What's your favorite comic book Spider-Man comic book story? Let's see. There's so many. It would have to be, and I know it's probably a very popular one, but it would have to be Spider-Man No More. And just kind of, Peter Parker just kind of having a point in his life where he's like, you know what? maybe I don't want to do this Spider-Man thing anymore. And he's had his moments before where he's wanted to quit, or maybe he did quit, but this time it felt different. You know, you get to see the whole comic panel of, you know, him throwing his Spider-Man suit in the trash, which they replicated in Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire. So that became a very iconic, you know, scene in Spider-Man lore and history because of the implications of this is like a really tired Peter Parker. This is a Peter Parker who feels like he's done everything right. He's marked all the boxes, but yet still people still see him as a problem. And the whole, you know, J. Jonah Jameson thing, him seeing that on TV, and that was like the final, you know, striking point for him. But yeah, that's my favorite Spider-Man comic book story. What's your favorite Nickelodeon live action show? I'd say Kenan and Kel. Sorry to rush. I'm kind of have to go do something, so I'm gonna have to, you know, breeze up on your comments real fast because I have to go. So I'm gonna try to get through. Fairly Odds: A New Wish is so very good. I've been hearing about that. I'll have to check it out. You just hit. I did. I hit 2.01K. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll definitely check it out. That's awesome. My favorite anti-hero is Venom because in his movies, even though without Spider-Man, since they made him anti-hero in his yeah, series in the comics, Lethal Protector back in the day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that. Let's thank Chuck Jones for making Coyote, Wile E. Coyote and Rover. Yes, he is very goated. I mean, what? I mean, where was Stick? Yeah, that is a good question. I like to thank the people who made Looney Tunes. All of them are amazing. Yeah, they are. Yeah, shout out to them making such a good franchise. What are your thoughts on Android and iPhone? Really, it just all depends on your taste. Whichever one you prefer, really. I love the Clone Saga in the comics because of his clone himself. Yeah, yeah. Also, if you're looking to read something you haven't read yet, Punisher Max is worth a look. Okay, definitely. I'll check that out. I have been trying to get into more comics, so I definitely will check out the Punisher comic, Punisher Max. I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate you guys, everybody coming in, chatting about, you know, Spider-Man, the whole, you know, thing with that, and just some other topics. So again, thank you for coming out to the stream. Let's see, before you go, I just wanted to say I hope you have a great rest of your week. Cannot wait for your next live and video. Love your content. You're amazing. Well, thank you. You know what, Marvel fan? You're amazing. You guys are all amazing again. Just taking the time out of your day to come to the stream and just check it out. I like really appreciate it. But yeah, do you have a live stream schedule? I don't yet. But again, I don't want to, you know, keep going. So again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys will tune into the next stream. I hope you guys have a good week. As I like to say in all my videos and everything, big love to you all, and peace out.